Hi, Taurus. Okay, so this is February 2025 lineup. If you want to take screenshots and compare any of these degrees to your natal chart, so you can get a clue of how you will be personally affected, or you can just listen to your sun sign, your ascendant, and your moon sign, and just you'll get a clearer picture. So the month of February is about an overarching theme. It's not about these. Um, it is. I mean, it is about these aspects, but it's not in regards to that hour, that day, that minute that aspect happens, um, because these aspects I'm going to touch only on the main specific ones, the major ones, because there's a theme, and I'll explain that later. So yeah, don't worry about not having heard this, and I'll do my whining. Is because uh, I do work full time, and sorry, uh, I have my own huge changes I'm going through. So I'm trying to make my schedule work so I can better serve you guys and upload stuff earlier. But for this month, it really doesn't matter because there's a major thing, and these aspects, these major ones that I'll be discussing, they're going to reverberate through time. Um, Again, it's not in regards to that day, that hour that this happened. These Okay, things happen. The ones that I'm going to explain. All right, let me change screens and we'll get into it more. An ending, anticipating a new beginning. um, it is in regards to Pisces. It's February is very important this year because it's jam packed with Pisces weather, as well as, like I mentioned, heavy duty planets aspecting the sign. And but you might say, well, every year this month it's Pisces weather. Yes, true. However, this month is special because it's actually a prelude, a movie trailer of um, how Saturn will end its journey in Pisces because it is leaving Pisces in March. And then a few weeks later, Saturn also moves out of Pisces. And they both enter Aries. And that is also highlighted here. There's another movie trailer that you're going to see, and I'll explain that when I go through it. But just for you pros and return listeners, bear with us as I explain a little bit about Neptune because we have newbies and novices that have no clue what what Neptune and Pisces is and all that. You can either skip it or maybe you'll get another insight. So first of all, Pisces is your 11th house. Um, yes, it is the house of friends, groups, circles, associations, but it also is the house of your hopes, wishes, and dreams of the future. Your vision of the dream. That sounds kind of nuanced, but it is the vision you set for your future, what you strive for. So it's a larger theme. And yes, your visions of the future, um, you're not an island to your own. I mean, if friends and groups will do help with that as we interact with them. And Neptune has been in Pisces in its home sign. So Neptune is a very, very powerful god, one of very three powerful gods, small g. Um, and when he's in his home sign of Pisces, he's 100 times more powerful. And Neptune is the ocean. He rules the ocean, fog, mist. He's the siren's calls to the sailors that get all lost at sea. He's very dreamy, very romantic. Creativity is high, high up top with Neptune. And a lot of Taurians are very, very creative in the arts and in a lot of areas. Neptune also rules the movie industry, the music industry, perfumes, drugs, alcohol, spirits, like that, the oil industry, marine biology, water, anything that's liquid, um, and more than that. But that'll give you a clue. But Neptune also rules deceit and illusion, like I gave you the the example of the sirens calls. And wherever Neptune is, it's we get a yearning for something, a longing for something, and we idealize things here. Okay, so for all of you Taurians, you've experienced all of these things, but maybe one more than the other at certain times during these last 12 to 14 years. Um, and it is about community, um, about a circle, about a caring community, about a group or friends that are compassionate. And it's many times it's felt like it's been like a vacation to be with friends. You really enjoyed your time with friends and groups and things like that, and you had these glimmers of hope about the about visions of your future. It could have been visions of grandeur. So you were floating. I mean, very well, but there were times where um, friends crossed boundary lines with you, or a group, or a small circle, and that was not okay with you, obviously. So you've lost friends, a lot of friends. Um, you've gained other friends. Now Pisces also rules the 12th house in the zodiac, so it's the house of secrets, of behind the scenes, of the past, of your psyche, how you think. Um, well, that's Mercury, but it is the psyche. It's the mental health. It rules confining spaces, taking care of someone, and definitely religion and any kind of meditation. And so that was also in the mix here. Now, you could have had a friend in secret, or something about a friend or friends that was secretive. You experienced that as well, but again, it at times it went into the boundaries being blurred. So if you think of Neptune, it's like the sand. You draw a line in the sand, and the ocean comes and washes away that line. Okay, now for pretty much, it hasn't been a really horrible journey for you. However, in 2023, Saturn came in and joined Neptune in Pisces. And then you started seeing these restrictions, these constraints, maybe arguments, maybe, well, not maybe, definitely severing of friends, and uh, and boundary lines regarding these things. Um, and you definitely, your Neptune issued rose-colored glasses were broken. Saturn gave you some really heavy duty, even maybe binoculars to see things clearly about friends. And you did start seeing things clearly. You did realize that when the conversation was about you, something really important about you, it always turned to be about them, and you were just left in the dust. Or the 12th house also covers hidden enemies with Pisces. So yeah, you started seeing things clearly, and many of you, if you didn't step away from these friends or groups, they probably severed their relationship with you. Um, but that's the mundane, the kind of lower level um, thing about Neptune and Pisces. I'm Yes, that is part of this, but I want you to focus more on what I'm trying to explain as far as a higher purpose, your vision, your yeah, your hopes and dreams of the future, where you want to be. um, where have you been the last 12 years, and now where are you, and where do you want to be? Okay, and you're an earth sign, so you mesh well with water signs. It's not as horrible, but you're a fixed sign. So Pisces is a mutable sign. So you did and do want stability here regarding your vision. Everything I'm going to say from now on, you can apply it to friends, but I'm going to be discussing your future vision. Okay, but you can, yeah, apply it to friends. Um, so yeah, you're yearning for a certain vision of the future. You're longing for that, and you have been taking steps. Like I mentioned, when Saturn came in with the restrictions, what Saturn does is he builds really strong foundations. But in order to do that, you have to follow certain rules. So Saturn's mission here was, okay, you keep longing, yearning for this vision of your future, and you get serious about it, but then it just, you get all foggy about it. So Saturn was like, I'm going to help you materialize this vision, crystallize it, but you have to follow certain rules. And thus, why you experienced obstacles, restrictions, problems regarding your vision of the future. But that has helped you because now you can condense it down to exactly what you need. You started getting organized about that. So it is a much bigger picture, and that's why I'm going to really. I'll talk about the other aspects a little bit, but the major thing I'm going to be concentrating on is this Neptune and Pisces, because as well, besides Neptune and Saturn leaving Pisces, which this month will give you a clue of, Neptune and Saturn will retrograde back into Pisces. So the year ends with Neptune and Saturn in Pisces, wrapping up um, loose ends and what have you. So I would say that uh, the theme of this year is all about Neptune and Pisces, your Pisces related house. It really is. Some astrologers might disagree with me, but I think it is. It is, yeah, like, of course, between May, um, April, May, and August, early September. Yes, we're going to have huge shifts, and I'll mention those. But they and we will start new things and new projects, new people coming into our lives, new jobs, marriages, engagements. A lot of busyness is going to happen, a new shift forward. However, this Neptune, Pisces, I don't know how to explain it, colors everything because it's water, it's the ocean. It seeps into everything. You can't really block it. So it's going to be in the background with everything that's going to be shifting. Okay, I hope I gave you a bigger picture. So when you start feeling like, what is that noise, that familiar noise in the background? That it's the siren's call while you're super busy, doing housework or whatever. All right. So getting that out of the way, let's just jump right into it. And again, like I said, I'm going to go through the lineup, but don't worry that you're hearing it after. This is for you to understand it ethereally, like nuanced. So we had Venus conjunct Neptune, which is very, very beautiful. It's very romantic. And again, it's reverberating. So something regarding your Neptune-related house, Pisces, which is friends and groups and all that. It's been beautifying. You've been having good luck, and ironically, Neptune and Pisces does have to do with money. There's something about money here. Now, okay, this is a dreamy aspect. Nice, okay, whatever. But as well, Venus conjunct Neptune, and it conjuncted the North Node in Pisces. Now, the nodes are, well, they're not planets, they're a mathematical concept. And, well, it'll take me a full video to relay the math and all that, so I'm not going to do that, of course. But just to think, in layman's terms, there's a North Node and a South Node, and they are karmic in nature. So they take us back 18 years ago. So you either owe or you are owed karma. Okay. And the North Node is where we should be heading towards and embracing. Um, but it's something we sometimes fear, or there's some trepidation about it. The South Node is where we're masters at. We're confident and we got it under control. And usually, people don't move out of their comfort zones. So we tend to like stick to the North Node, but we're supposed to release the North Node. And thus the oppositions that'll happen between these two signs. Again, the nodes just changed signs mid January. The North Node went into Pisces, and then the South Node is in Virgo. Now, Virgo for you is your fifth house of love, romance, children, creativity, and taking care of someone. It is also the house of chaos and gossip. Um, and when I say we're supposed to leave it behind or release, I'm saying about any habitual toxicity or something there, like releasing that hold that we have on that. Just let it go, go with the flow. So you're supposed to be concentrating on the North Node. Now, the nodes work with the outer planets to affect change. Um, and of course, it deals with lunar eclipses and solar eclipses. Now, a full moon is an ending, yes, but with full moons, it's also a fruition of our past efforts, a culmination of exercises and activity there. And there's usually, they're not as impactful. I mean, they can be, but the nodes are eclipses. They're like a partial lunar eclipse, a total lunar eclipse, a solar eclipse. So we have no control with eclipses. They will eclipse something or someone out of our lives. And following that, there will be a solar eclipse where it fills up that vacuum. Okay. And like I mentioned, it's karmic in nature. Um, so again, this ending in with Neptune and Pisces, we will have eclipses that'll be eclipsing things out, working with Neptune and Saturn, to eclipse things out of our life that are not serving us. Um, and the North Node is where we will have opportunities, and it's a karmic opportunity, a new beginning. So they're major new beginnings, major endings. Um, and it might be someone from the past that comes in. Usually it's a new person that maybe reminds you of someone from the past. But because Pisces also rules the past, and it's Neptune and it's the karmic nodes, I believe it is somebody from the past, more likely, that might come in here, offering a new opportunity regarding friendship, um, and that will be opposing your romance and love house or children's house. And you may experience it maybe through an adult child. I mean, very personally, but it's more likely than not it's you that'll be experiencing this. Okay, so we also had the sun in Aquarius semi-square the North Node in Pisces. Um, Squares and oppositions are hard aspects, but some squares are good, some squares are air quotes bad, and oppositions. But squares are, I mean, they're still tough. We still feel intensity here, but they do jumpstart things. They can expand something. So Aquarius for you is your 10th house of career, status, reputation, and authority figures. Um, Status is married, not married, single, not single. Your reputation is in focus here, very much so. And authority figures will be the ones who will open doors or close them shut. And you have been busy actually with your career and status. Um, there has been opportunities. It's Pluto. Pluto is in Aquarius. It left Capricorn, and that was a brutal brutal journey. But now it's in Aquarius. It will not be as dark and deep as it was with Pluto. Aquarius is a very, very uplifting sign. It's an air sign, and it's called the genius of the zodiac. They're just super special that way. They're ruled by Uranus, the planet of shock and surprise and electricity. So they're very fast, but they're geniuses. They're quirky. Yeah, and you would know when you meet an Aquarius. If not, um, the way they appear like almost almost alien, or there's something, an air about them that they're like aloof. Aloof is a really good word. If you don't notice that in their appearance, you definitely notice that in their communication and the way they talk. So you might have a couple of authority figures that fit that bill. And you have been working about uh, something, you've been very busy about something about your career. And here it's semi-squaring the moon in, I'm sorry, here it's semi-squaring the North Node in Pisces. Very important. Um, so it again regarding your visions of the future. So it could be an authority figure of some kind, something having to do with your career and status that you've started recently. Um, that is a clue to how what kind of opportunity will come in through the North Node for you, and it will be karmic. Okay. And then the next most important aspect that I want to talk about um, is Mercury in Aquarius trining Jupiter in Gemini. Mercury is the planet of communication, commuting, thinking, especially thinking, um, agreements, discussions, debates, um, the way you take in information and the way you decimate it, the way you relay it back, how to explain something. It's contracts, agreements. I mentioned that. And Aquarius again is your 10th house of career and status. Jupiter for you um, has been in Gemini since last May. For you, Gemini is your second house of money, job, income, and definitely value system. But how you value yourself, not how other people value you. So it's who you will and will not sell out for is what it is. Now, this is a very nice aspect. It's a trine. So there's um, discussion, communication regarding a job or your value system or about money, okay? Um, and you're getting this approval from some type of an authority figure, or you're having this vision about your a future career, and it is sitting really well. And there's mutual reception here. So Mercury rules Gemini, and Aquarius is a fellow air sign of Gemini. So, and then Gemini also rules the third house of communication, commuting, uh, communication devices, siblings, cousins, extended family, definitely, um, neighbors, the neighborhood, vision, eyesight, language, the need to be heard, and and like a circle of community, a close but a very small, close community. Um, so that's somehow in the mix for you as well. It has something to do about this career, the status, and your job and income or value system. But it's a very nice aspect, and again, this will reverberate throughout because Jupiter is direct now, I think, but I'll mention it later on, and I'll tell you what's going on with Jupiter and Gemini for you more. So yeah, there's mutual reception here. Um, then the next most important aspect that I want you to pay double close attention to is Venus entering Aries. It did enter it on the 4th. Um, Venus is going to do a rare retrograde this year, and Venus is also your ruler. You benefit from, she's your protector. Okay, and Venus brings in love, money, fortune, and fame. Um, and Aries for you is your 12th house of the past, of secrets, of behind the scenes, of your psyche, spirituality, and faith. Okay, uh, Venus is going to be beautifying this area for you. You're going to really enjoy being alone because, like I said, you're on this mission to. Sorry, that's my pug snoring. You're on this mission to really set a path for your future. You're trying to make that vision, into reality, and it is going to be linked to your career, obviously, for obvious reasons. I'm saying, I mean, but pay attention to this transit because one, it's going to retrograde, and it's already at shadow retrograde. And you might say, well, it just entered. How can it be in shadow retrograde? It's because Venus will go through Aries, stop, and it'll come back, but it won't stop. It'll back up all the way into Pisces. So it'll be repeating the last degrees of Pisces. So that's why it's already in shadow retrograde. Um, and the other deal with Venus retrograde is it. She does bring people back from the past. I think I mentioned that earlier. If I didn't, um, there is a very high possibility, especially for you, because it's Aries. It is your 12th house of the past. So look for that. And if that happens, and if there is an issue, well, obviously there might have been an issue because it's somebody that, it's not somebody that an ongoing relationship. It's a relationship you end. Sorry about that. The video stopped. It's like 30-minute increments and it stopped. So I wasn't paying attention. So yeah, if there was an issue, I mean, um, you'll be working it out here with this person. Now, if you are able to surmount these issues by the end of the retrograde, and you're you're good, both of you are good with any issue going forward, it will be a very strong relationship. It will go forward because it can surmount any issue um, that may come between you or with you. And remember, relationships. I'm talking because it's not here in the 7th house, so it can be any type of relationships. It can yes be personal relationships, but it covers like partnerships too, business relationships, platonic relationships, um, brother sister relationships, cousins, and so forth. But yes, it can include personal love relationships too. But if you see that by the end of this Venus retrograde that this issue is insurmountable, yeah, by the end of it, you will have make peace with each other, and everybody goes on their lovely way. Okay, but there's the theme of consolement, not consolement. I always forget that word, like being at peace with ending something. And the final and third reason to pay attention to this Venus transit is because it is a snippet of what to expect when Neptune and Saturn entering Aries, what it means for you, what you'll be dealing with. So, whatever obstacles you encounter, um, uh, Saturn will be there to help you through that. He'll give you tools with boundary lines and restrictions. If it is really dreamy, lovely, encounters, fiery or what have you, Neptune will make that even more intense. You'll be yearning, longing for something like that. Um, it is your 12th house, so It can be anything. But if you do meet someone new here, um, uh, it will be very, very passionate and very intense. Um, just be careful because for two reasons. One is that, like I mentioned, Venus will retrograde, so it might fizzle out. The second is Aries craves excitement and independence more than anything. Um, so it is not really a romantic kind of thing. It's more like a fiery excitement kind of love. Um, and again, Taurus, you are a fixed sign, and you take a long time to make up your mind. So so you can be very stubborn, and you are possessive. uh, um, eh, and it's because you do rule the second house natally of job security, income. You rule the stock market. You know the financial picture. It is all about security for you. So that's normal to be possessive. But yeah, Aries, even within a relationship, I mean, there's a lot of committed Aries that do wonderfully in relationships, but it with Aries, even within a relationship, has to have their independence. Um, and it is a me first sign. So it's always about them first, and that is normal with Aries too, because they are the warrior. They do go out in front of all of us, and clear the pathway. They're pioneers. So that is why they don't like needy people, or possessive people, or people that and Taurus, you're a very compassionate sign as well. um, and you're ruled by Venus, so you're very attractive to the opposite sex, whether you're a man or a woman or a girl or whatever. Um, so I can see Aries getting excited over you. In any case, I'm not going to spend too much time, but I just wanted to let you know, pay attention, and it is a snippet, so it is important for me to spend a little time on it, of what Neptune and Aries will. And you might find this person, if it's a new romance that's coming into your life, you might find them to be somewhat of a warrior, of like a hero kind of, um, idealistic thing, guy, girl. Um, and Neptune will amplify that. Okay. All right. The next important aspect that I want to discuss is today on the 6th. The Sun in Aquarius will semi-sextile Saturn in Pisces. So the Sun is illuminating something about your career status and your reputation. You can see it clearly, as well as other people can see it clearly. Um, Again, what you want to do regarding your career and status. And you are getting the approval from Saturn. Saturn is saying, yes, if you want to go this direction, I'm removing these obstacles. You can go ahead. He's giving you the thumbs up. Sorry. Okay, tomorrow on the 7th, Neptune conjuncts the North Node in Pisces. This is beautiful. It's very romantic. It's very dreamy. Again, very idealistic. Um, uh, and you have been um, associating with a very, very close group recently. It might be people from the past, um, friends from the past, close groups from the past, or maybe your neighborhood. You moved, and you're getting to really enjoy your neighborhood, like your community there. In any case, yes, but a conjunction is still a serious aspect, not necessarily a hard aspect, but it's a serious aspect. So something's going to remind you, um, this community, these friends, this association is going to remind you about the past, about this karma thing. Maybe you'll be going through old pictures, um, and whatever's setting up here um, might be karmic somehow, related to a friend. But it's an opening. Again, it's the North Node. It's about a future opportunity, and I have no clue how to explain or give an example here, in regards to you. But just to say that either an old friend or group contacts you, like maybe sends you a text with a picture that of like all two, three, four of you guys were at this beautiful barbecue, like 18 years ago, and it floods you with emotion. Um, Also on the 7th, Mercury in Aquarius will semi-square Venus and Aries. So pay attention to these harder aspects, as those are the obstacles you'll encounter um, as Saturn will be joining Neptune in Aries. So here again, something about your career reputation. It's Mercury, so discussions, debates, information, thinking about your career, your status, your reputation, um, is is not sitting well. There's a hard aspect with in regards to um, something about the past for you, or if you're doing something behind the scenes or in secret. Mm. Um, Aries also rules the first house of image, so how you appear, how you're seen. Okay, so the 10th house, Taurus, is definitely a house that you want to be above board. You want to be beyond reproach, because these people in the 10th house, these authority figures, have the power to open doors and close doors, move you up or move you down, or hold you in a holding pattern, and so forth. And it's again, it's Pluto, so Pluto is going to bring up fears that you may have associated with your reputation, with status, with your career. Okay, it's gonna, and it's not because it hates you. It wants you to face that fear, understand it, dissect it, deconstruct it, and then you are not held hostage anymore by that fear. Um, so so Pluto is going to do that job. So you have this fear, maybe trepidation. Maybe I'm using the wrong word, but it is fear. Um, Something about your career, your status, your reputation, or about an authority figure, and it can be a mother-in-law or a husband or a mother or a father. Um, it doesn't have to be. It can manifest in many different ways here. And then we have uh, the so yeah. So this discussion, and you have this fear about it. It is not sitting well with something about the past. Maybe there was an issue in the past, and it has something to do with physical appearance or what have you. Um, so yeah, look to those degrees in your natal chart if you'll be affected. Now, the most important aspect on the 7th I want to emphasize is Venus in Aries will sextile Pluto in Aries, in Aquarius. I'm sorry. This is very important. Venus is a serious planet, Taurus, and Pluto is a very powerful planet. Uh, and this is not just um, light love and romance or what have you. This is serious stuff. So what this is saying is, again, if it has to do regarding love, um, romance, it, it's about is love and security. Trust is huge here. Security is huge here. Um, Again, between these two houses, your career status, reputation, and something behind the scenes, maybe of how you were seen in the past. So, and if you've had any issues, because well, maybe I didn't mention, it's a sextile. It's a very, very beautiful, and I would, I usually say sextiles you may not feel because they're nice aspect. You will feel this, and like I said, it'll reverberate, um, because these are very serious planets. So if you've had any communication problems about these two houses, or between these two houses, this can be smoothed out and taken seriously. Like, I can't stress that enough. Um, and this romance can be the other romance I said, fiery and exciting. This is fiery and scary, especially um, the 12th house secrets, and Pluto rules like the taboo. Uh, yeah, obsession, infatuation. It's serious, but again, this kind of love doesn't really die out. Well, I mean, it's Aries still. You're still going to have issues about independence and possessiveness, and it might be the other person that's that way. It doesn't necessarily have to be you. You could be projecting that onto another person. Um, now if it's not a love relationship, if it's a professional opportunity, or a platonic relationship or business relationship, um, maybe it's siblings or cousins, or something, people that you may know already. This can translate into um, an example of you seeing them in a different serious light. Like you could have always thought, just for as an example, maybe your cousin was always a pushover or something, but you I mean you know them, so you knew you know you they have it in them, and here they display it and you're like, wow. I knew you had it, but yeah, you're like blown away um, by um, by their genius or their dedication. Again, it's passion, it's Venus, um, and them or you could be like a firebrand kind of a character here. Um, there's also the idea of like exchange, work and ideas, analytics and creativity meshing here together. Like if you scratch my back, I scratch yours. Like I have this certain powerful ability, and you have a certain powerful ability that I don't, and we match it. It can translate to something like that. But it is genius. It is like revelation because it's Aquarius. Aquarius is the genius of the zodiac. I don't know if I mentioned that. Sorry if I keep repeating things. It's because I do have notes, but as you can see, I like to. I don't like to just give you the aspect and say, well, it's between this house and this house, and it's a hard aspect. Oh, and just lay low. It's like what, what? I like to give you like solid examples so that you can, you know, be able to hold on right into it. It because if it doesn't make sense when I give you examples, it might trigger. Oh yeah, yeah, okay, something like that, so you can understand astrology better. Because the technical terms, people don't care about that. They don't like what'll happen, which is that's understandable. Anyway, let's move on. All right, on February 9th, Mercury catches up with the Sun in Aquarius. We call it Mercury Kazimi. Here it is, maybe missing information, thinking there was something missing there, maybe communication. Somebody forgot um, to mention a detail, or it could be a lost item or something like that. Here, like I mentioned, the sun illuminates everything. So you if it is a lost item, you find it, but you do get a missing piece of information that's important regarding your career, your status, your reputation. um, an authority figure might give you that revelation. Again, it's like a genius revelation, something that's sudden. All right, the other very important thing that I want to discuss is Mars in Cancer will trine Saturn and Neptune. Okay, Cancer is your third house of communication devices, commuting, your car, siblings, brother, cousins, extended family, vision, eyesight, language, social media is all wrapped up. But Cancer also natally rules the mother and home and family and your home, parents, your country, your pride, your clan. Um, so that's all in the mix as well in regards to this third house um, of running around. Um, well, and then Pisces again is your 10th, I'm sorry, your 11th house of groups and friends. Um, and Pisces natally rules the past and secrets. So here, okay, so this is the second of three trines. The first one we had was at the end of September. This is the second one, and there will be a third one on April 4th. So during this heat and urgency that we felt at the end of September, for you personally, something about running around um, or communicating or social media. And again, family and the mother was involved somehow. Homes, houses. There was a fear. You had a fear or a lack of confidence. And actually, Saturn in your 12th house of secrets in the past was giving you the thumbs up to not be fearful and do or say what you needed to do and say. But we hesitated, not only you, everyone. And here you again, you're faced with this and you're not as afraid as you were, but you still have hesitation, and that's makes total normal sense because Mars is still retrograde. Okay. And sorry, I had my chair, I'm in this swivel chair and it just woo spun around. um, uh, yeah, you still have this hesitation, and that's because Mars is retrograde. Now, on April 4th, Mars will be direct and in full force, and you will not be afraid. You will have full confidence. And Saturn, again, will be giving you the thumbs up. You will be able to surmount this. So you will have that feeling of, I'm not, okay, all right, I am right. It proves that you were right here. Um, yeah, it's a nice aspect. It's a very powerful aspect. It's not, I mentioned always, oh, you might not feel it. You'll feel this definitely. So this is the third go around as well. All right, and then on the 10th, dum da da dum, Mercury in Aquarius will square Uranus in your sign, Taurus. This is a big deal, and this is a hard aspect, tense aspect. Um, so let's break it down. So Aquarius again, your 10th house of career and status, group, and authority figures. And Aquarius natally is your 11th house of groups, friends, and associations. Taurus, of course, is your sign, so the first house of image, appearance, physical appearance, your essence, how people see you, your profile online. Now, Uranus, you've been hosting Uranus for the past 7-ish years, and you have um, you have because Uranus. Okay, so Uranus is the planet of shock and surprise as well. All right, um, and it rules Aquarius. So there's some kind of mutual reception. Um, Mercury is a transactional planet. Um, it delivers information, contracts, agreements. It rules the third house of siblings, extended family, and communication, social media. Okay, so with Uranus having been in your sign for the past 7 years, uh, you have shocked people. You have shocked people. You have um, not gone with the straight and narrow. And it's been actually a tougher journey for you than actually your partners. Because, like I said, you're a fixed sign. You like stability, very much so. You like the tried and true, and you're all about security, and security requires stability. But Uranus has been shaking that area up for you. Because it's not only your physical image, it is your essence. It's been changing. It's been saying conventional will not work for you. Waiting too long and being stubborn about it is not going to work for you. um, you need to be the maverick, and you have been the maverick. um, Besides physically changing, I mean, you could have gotten pregnant and had children, and if you're a man, you could have completely changed your style, but it's your essence, the way you are, um, embracing change. Now, fixed signs are really difficult to change, um, and and um, and especially you like stability. So a lot of you could have been um, Uranus force changed on you abruptly, and it could have taken you dragging and screaming. With Uranus, it is best to go with the flow. It is better to go with the unconventional. I mean, not completely. I'm not saying go wild, but being open to spontaneous, abrupt change works much easier with Uranus than being like baby steps. It just doesn't, because Saturn will be like, oh, it's going to take us a couple of years or to go over these few mountains, because some passages are going to be dangerous. We're going to have to go around it. And Uranus says, what? 2 years? Nuh-uh. We're flying over these mountains. So yeah, it brings about surprising abrupt changes, and that's sometimes really difficult for Taurus. But you have gotten the flow of it. I mean, you might still not be comfortable with it, um, but you might have recently embraced it, and now your partners are like getting surprised with what's going on. Um, and and Uranus is the kind of planet where you appreciate that disruption, that abrupt disruption out of the blue. You appreciate it later on. It's like a blessing in disguise. It might seem like a tragedy at the present, but later on, it's a blessing in disguise. So here, it's a tough aspect. It's a hard aspect. So this communication about your reputation, the way you appear. Um, Sorry, Uranus is not going to stand for any control issues, because remember, Pluto is also in Aquarius. Um, and neither will Aquarius. I mean, Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, so it'll allow Pluto to do his thing, but he will not allow any control issues. And having Uranus in your sign, I mean, that's doubly important. You, what I'm saying is Pluto bringing up fear from your past, or how you think. about your reputation and career. The change to adjusted to fear to face that fear will happen abruptly, and then once the dust settles, you'll be like, you know what, that was exhilarating. And sometimes it needs to be that way for something to, you know, change, because as I've mentioned, squares do not fear the squares. They jumpstart things that are stagnant. All right. um, Now, since you do rule the second house of money, job, and income, for you Taurians that may lose a job or you may quit, um, it this square, it amplifies it. Okay, so yeah, it might come out of nowhere where you just say I quit, but even though it's squaring your job and your career, it might be a lesson learned to not act rationally, or it can be beneficial where, you know, like I said, blessing in disguise. Like, if you weren't to do that, you wouldn't then have time to find the perfect job for you. All right, let's move on. So on the 11th, the next day. Okay, so these few days are going to be a little tough. The Sun in Aquarius this time will square Uranus in Taurus. So whatever the discussion was, whatever the debate, the abrupt, maybe an abrupt, heated debate, um, here the Sun will illuminate anything that you may have missed in the heat of the action, um, for you and for others to see. Okay, and what this can translate in, also something maybe more tangible for you to understand, is we're entering a new world, Taurus. It's a new world with Aquarius. All of us, not only you. And there's a new way of doing things. So I'll give you the example of Trump and his administration. And I'm not political. I have no biases or whatever, but he won the popular vote. He won all the swing states. So the majority of the people like what he's doing. This is just an example. I'm not saying it might be you, uh, but uh, because you're traditional, you know, and you crave security, you might, you know, have an argument with someone and regarding that. Just as an example. But what is happening, and you or the other person might, maybe you agree with what's going on and the other person doesn't agree, but what's happening here is, you or the other person is like, all right, you know what, I'll just bide my time until it goes all back to normal, until it goes back to the old way. uh, Taurus, it will not go back to the old way. This is it, especially with Uranus and squares. This is the new world, and um, I'm not saying we're throwing out the baby with the bathwater, but I'm saying there's a new set of rules to go by now. And it would behoove you to learn these new ways, to learn these new rules. Um, and that's just an example. I'm not saying that's what's happening, but if it's in regards to your job, income, or career. All right. Now, the 12th. Yeah, see, these few days are going to be tough. The moon in Leo, and Leo is your fourth house of home, family, your parents, country, your clan. The moon in Leo will square Uranus in Taurus, Uranus in your sign. So there's an issue, an emotional issue, maybe an issue of pride, um, with your home and family, and also Leo rules the fifth house of love, romance, children, or creativity. You might be having a discussion with your parents regarding a sibling, or it might be about your children, and there's emotions are involved here. Somebody's hurting, somebody's emotions, and the ego, the pride is hurt here, because it'll square Uranus, uh, about, it has to do about your image or security or how you are seen. And again, it's Uranus. We can't predict, but there's something abrupt um, that happens here, which leads to a full moon in Leo, opposing the Sun in Aquarius. Um, so there's an ending here, Taurus. Um, I mean, it can be, yes, a fruition of your past efforts, or a culmination of your what you've been experiencing, or saying or doing, regarding family and parents, and or it can be as mundane as, you know, renovations regarding your home. But it is something about your career and status that you are working really hard on. Um, uh, and there's this change going on about your home and family is not is opposing it. It doesn't want you to maybe to reveal everything because it's the sun revealing things. So maybe they're just cautioning you. But there's something that's ending in your home and family, or a culmination, like I said. Um, and on the same day, Mercury in Aquarius will semi-sextile the North Node in Pisces. So discussion, debate, conversation about your career status and reputation. Um, Giving actually a good vibe to this new opportunity that's karmic in nature. Now, if you were owed karma, here's where you can, somebody or something can back you up regarding your career, and smooth things out. Okay. Now on the 14th. Okay, so yes, pay attention here too. Mercury enters Pisces. Um, So discussions, communications, contracts, agreements, leases, debates, thinking, teaching on a micro level, learning on a micro level, is going to start regarding Pisces. So your friends, groups, associations, your hopes and visions of the future, um, and anything having to do with the past, with behind the scenes, with your psyche, faith, spirituality, taking care of people. Uh, it's going to start full on now. So pay attention to this because these are the talks that will lead to the ending of Neptune in Pisces, whatever ends for you in your Pisces related house, or culminates. Um, Also, this will start your communication or thinking will be start being psychic, almost intuitive, very intuitive. You'll finish other people's sentence or they you. Dreams are going to be very vivid here, very smooth and flowing. Um, Empathetic listening, empathetic talking, um, where you can really feel and understand what it is. But there is also duality of speech and or thinking, because Pisces is the two fish. One swims one way, the other one swims the other way. And Mercury rules Gemini, the sign of the twins. So definitely a duality of speech, a double meaning, double choice. You might say something but mean something else, or it can come from somebody else. So the perfect example, I said this to other signs, some of the signs, is Justin Bieber's song, "Say What You Mean." You tell me to go, but you want me to stay. What do you mean? That's perfectly exemplifies it. And fun fact, and ironically, Justin Bieber is a Pisces. Yeah, very interesting. So they can also be exaggeration, maybe to be compassionate, because compassion plays a big role here. Um, there will definitely be confusion in thinking, and then trying to relay that, or listening and taking it in, or confusion about talking, like you might sound off in some way. Um, because see, what's going on here is it's the bigger theme, the overarching theme, the I hate using just theme. I want to think of another word, and I can't think of it. But um, it's larger than life things that are going on here, and especially for you because it's your vision, uh, vision that you want to manifest into reality. And of course, visions are fluid, dreams are fluid. So it's something like, oh well, words. Someone might say, oh well, words matter, and the opposing party might say, oh well, it was just a figure of speech, and how can I be creative if you're going to police every single word coming out of my mouth? I'm talking about like the all-encompassing thing. It could be that type of a deal. And ironically, oh well, not ironically, very fittingly, we will have the first of three Mercury retrogrades this year, starting here in Pisces. Because Mercury is transactional, it's pragmatic, it's detailed, it's the messenger of the gods. And he wants details. He wants that vision to manifest practically. So there needs to be some definition here. And that's why it'll go back and forth three times over these conversations till he gets it right. Otherwise, him delivering um, fake news. I love that word. Um, Not intentionally to other gods. They're going to kick his ass. In any case, just pay attention, or have plan A, B, C, and D with anything related to your Pisces house and communication with that house, because it will be reversed, rediscussed, re-implemented, and all that. All right, Taurus. Then we come to the next important aspect is, sorry, I'm looking at my notes, is on the 15th. Mercury in Pisces will semi-sextile Pluto in Aquarius. This is also a very nice aspect. Discussions, empathetic discussions, compassionate understanding um, regarding or from friends or groups is definitely boosting whatever your um, well, it's definitely helping you with whatever fear you have about your career and status. So there's something you want to do about your career and status, and you're hesitating. And these friends and groups are helping you surmount that. Because then the sun in Aquarius will semi-sextile the North Node in Pisces. So karmic opportunity is the solution to your career and status. Sorry, I'm looking down at my pug. This he's making noises. Mm, the other thing will be on the 16th, the sun in Aquarius semi-sextiles Neptune, and and that is again the sun, something that you're aware of that the sun illuminates for you regarding your career and status, is sitting well with this ending in your Pisces related house. And we're getting close to the critical degree here, Taurus. It's at 28 degrees, 28 minutes. So the critical degree is the 29th degree. So start paying close attention. Um, and before I go on, I'm going to mention for you, for a sliver of you, well, some of you ended relationships, partnerships, but a lot of you will be getting engaged, will be getting married, will be going steady. And inclusive of these two camps, a lot of you will be starting businesses. Because did I mention Jupiter going direct? I don't know if I mentioned it, but Jupiter going direct, you had this opportunity between May and September, October last year, where there was a big opportunity or a couple of really big opportunities regarding your job, but it took like a back seat. It stalled, and that was because Jupiter was retrograde. So now it's picking up, and that will come back. And if you had any negative thing, it gets reversed now that Jupiter is going direct. Jupiter is a benefic planet, so it's going to do that. But besides that, it's going to give you a couple more opportunities. Okay, Jupiter is just the planet of expansion. But with Jupiter, it's use it or lose it kind of a deal. So if you do get these nice, expansive opportunities regarding your job and career, grab it with both hands. So I'm going to just say a quick thing about those Taurians that are in a partnership that are having problems with their partner. The issue mostly is about security, about money, um, about debt, credit, or value systems. And there's also something um, like a foreign factor involved. It could be an actual foreigner. Your partner might, not be the same language speaking. I mean, you guys understand each other, but I'm saying it might be a little literal foreigner, or maybe a foreign country is involved, and also can be, about higher education. There's some sort of security issue that you have with that, or publishing. Uh, but also this what keeps popping up here is this matriarchal figure, um, and an issue with money or jealousy or um, something like that. So yeah, you maybe that's what your fear is regarding your status, your career, um, and I see many of you are squirreling away for something, maybe just as a backup, or or to do something, to start something. Um, just with partners, you have to be honest with yourself and with partners. Um, anyway, I don't like to. um, yeah, the astrologers who like go into philosophy and psychology. It's like, lady, just give us the facts and let us figure it out. So, if you have any questions, you can put it in the comments. I'll be more than happy to answer them. Okay, um, because on the 17th, and this is what triggered me. Going off script is Mercury, and I usually don't. I wouldn't have even mentioned this, but with your chart, I can see something. So on the 17th, Mercury in Pisces, again, friends, something about the past, discussions, debates, will semi square Chiron in Aries. So it's going to trigger an old wound, a hurt from the past, about image, about appearance, and again, it's regarding the past. You guys are beautiful people. Taurus, I mean, if you see a Taurus, besides a Virgo, Virgo looks really demure and beautiful. I mean, all signs have this beautiful quality, but especially Taurus, and you're ruled by Venus. Taurans are really attractive people, and they're very, yeah, security is big with them, so they're grounded. Um, um, Whatever this past issue, this past hurt is, do really make an effort to understand it, to release it, because that's when you'll be released. Okay, so I'm gonna just go on, and there's something else, then it'll make all sense. So on the 18th, the sun now enters Pisces. So the sun here will illuminate an ending, because it's anticipating a new beginning. Um, And you might say, the sun is just entering Pisces. How can it be an ending? It's because Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. We go through the whole zodiac to finish in Pisces. And as well, like I mentioned, um, the exit of Pisces and Saturn and Neptune from Pisces. It'll be illuminating it, prelude to it. I mean, it might not be the exact same scenario, this exact same skit, but it will be the theme. Um, so, Sun entering Pisces in regards to illuminating an ending, anticipating a new beginning, it's something like spring cleaning. Okay, we're cleaning it out, the cobwebs and all, because we're expecting to bring in the new. Okay, um, the precursor, we're on the precipitous of change with all these planets. So, um, yeah, we're in like a holding pattern in February, but it's still dynamic. There's still a lot of things going on, but it's a precursor to all this change. And Jesus, get lots of rest and juiced up, because March is going to be, oh my God, rock and roll. Um, So on the 18th, also we have Venus in Aries semi-squaring Uranus and Taurus. Again, these hard aspects, pay attention to, because those are the obstacles you'll have to surmount when Saturn and Neptune traverse Aries. But for this year, it's going to be a few short months, so and you'll be so busy with other things. But it's just a clue here. So yeah, it's something about your past, your image, and something presently about the way you appear in your image. Um, Mercury in Pisces will semi-sextile Venus and Aries, though. So a compassionate understanding, a compassionate group, again, is giving you like the backup, the nurturing, to be okay with whatever happened in the past regarding your image. And then on the 20th, Mercury in Pisces will square Jupiter in Gemini. And I told you what's going on with Gemini. It's with Jupiter, and this is mutual reception. I mean, this is a hard aspect. A square is a hard aspect, but we have a mutual reception. Jupiter is the co-ruler of Pisces. Mercury is the ruler of Gemini. And again, Gemini is your second house of job income, but it also includes siblings, brothers, and the neighborhood. And Pisces is your house of friends groups, but it also rules the past. So these are emotionally charged words, communication between these two areas. But whatever dust storm is picked up here, and it might not be picked up, because, like I said, it's a mutual reception. But if um, there is a feeling of, all right, we've taken it too far, we've hurt each other too much, because then the Sun in Pisces will semi-sextile Pluto in Aquarius. So, all right, what the square is happening is, there's some kind of an expansion, uh, with a job, with an opportunity, with your value system, and then there's this talk, um, regarding your Pisces related house. And don't forget, Saturn is still in Pisces, so that's maybe where the stickling issue is. But there's an expansion here of some sort, and it might expand this fear, and that's why there's this support system through a group, uh, and it is, yeah, because it's the Sun and Mercury. Um, coming up, and Pluto is in agreement with this. So this is amazing. This is really good in regards to if it's about your value system. This is amazing. If it is about a job, it is also amazing because you can make a lot of money here, and probably it will boost your reputation too. All right, on the 23rd. Yes, yay! I forgot to say it for you guys. Hallelujah. Mars will station direct in Cancer, finally. All the stuck issues, all the problems we've had with family, a mother, parents, community, communication, neighborhood. Uh, you're running around. Um, and all that's in the mix. If you've had any problems, any negative things, it starts smoothing out here. It starts working out for you. So on this day, Mercury in Pisces will trine Mars retrograde in Cancer. I would say I'm going in a chronological order. And then Mercury in Pisces will semi-square Pluto in Aquarius. Then Ceres, the planet of compromise, and Pluto's mother-in-law, who brought him down to his knees to compromise over abducting her daughter. All leads to Mars then stationing direct. So this is what's going on. Mars here is, and Mars is the god of war. He rules hothead Aries, and Mars only knows one thing in one direction. It's forward. He absolutely hates going backwards, and he's fearless. Like I've explained in your head, he says, "What do you want?" You say, "I want this," and he's like, "Let's go, let's go." He grabs you and he goes, and he's fearless. And he's been relegated, poor thing, forced to go back and forth, and deal with very emotional things. Cancer is a very sensitive sign. It's a water sign. It's emotional. So he's like, "Okay, enough with all everybody's whining and crying and sensitivity. Enough. I get it. I have the full story. It is time for war now." Oh my God, I crack myself up sometimes. I try to entertain myself. I hope you don't mind. um, no, but seriously, it now has the full story. There's no trepidation. There's no confusion. Um, and has the full confidence to put the pedal to the metal to start moving forward. The stuckness is driving everyone crazy, and but it's moving forward in a constructive way. Um, so again, it is your third house, communication and commuting, something about family and the mother. Um, just again, like I've mentioned before, just be careful of commuting, cars, or sending the wrong text because yeah, Mars will be direct and it'll have urgency and heat. So on the 25th, Mercury will conjunct Saturn in Pisces. I always forget. I've been doing this for all 12 signs and I always forget. Like I got so excited here on the 23rd with this trine and with Mars going direct. Uh, when then I see Mercury conjunct Saturn in Pisces, it's like, oh my God, we just fixed one side, now the other side's about to give us a pain. So Mercury conjunct the party pooper planet Saturn. No, don't be mad at me, Saturn. I apologize. Um, Conjunct Saturn and Pisces. So this is more serious talk, more discipline, um, more discouragement, more pessimism, um, um, and for some, they will give up here. For some, it'll be like, all right, you know what, um, I give up. But there's this spirituality thing involved. There's this compassion. So it'll be something like, it's God's will. It was not meant to be. Fine, I get it. It's okay. I release. And if you've ever gone through that, what usually happens? You usually get your way. So it's something of a powerful endurance and then release. Um, the energy of accepting something compassionately is the lesson learned. And Saturn releases those restrictions, or you see the light at the end of the tunnel after you accept whatever this ending is, whatever this hurt is. You finally understand, and that is what Saturn has been after. He wanted you to go through that journey of um, embracing hurt, embracing pain, because Pisces is really famous for being scared to feel pain. It will do anything and everything to avoid pain. It's the whole, numbing the swimming pool. Uh, Pisces numbs itself to pain. Um, coping mechanism. But Saturn says if you don't feel the pain, you will not have compassion, and the cycle will not be broken. But if you embrace the pain and understand the core issue of it, that it's not somebody else's fault or your fault, or it's circumstance, and so on and so forth, you finally then break the cycle, and you wouldn't use that pain against another, if you understand what I'm trying to say. You're released after you accept this pain, and as well is I just lost my train of thought again. I'm sure I beat it. It's like beating a dead horse. I want to just say more and more, only because it's like nuance. It's ethereal. I always am afraid that people might not understand. But yeah. Oh yeah. Now I remembered. And as well, to be open, to be okay with hurting again, because that's how we grow. Okay. Um, yeah. See, because right after that, then Mercury in Pisces semi-sextiles Chiron in Aries. Um, So again, more healing talk, maybe forgiveness, maybe apologies. Is giving a really nice vibe to this, really nice feeling to this wound that you have about the past, that you have about the hurt. This all had to come out, right? And then the month ends with on the February 27th. Well, it ends on the 28th, but the major aspect is the new moon in Pisces. Um, and it's not a completely free careless moon. It does square Jupiter in Gemini, um, but again, there's somewhat of a mutual reception, because Jupiter is the co-ruler of Pisces, but there is, like I mentioned, there are good aspects and good oppositions, and this, to me, I believe, is a good square. It just jumpstarts something regarding your career, regarding job, income, and your value system, and something about your neighborhood or extended family. There's something that's involved there, or communication, healing communication, but it'll come from the heart, from deep down, and from your emotions, because it's the moon in Pisces. Oh my God, I feel sorry for Mars if he's involved in any of this. uh, um, because then, right after that, that new moon, that new opportunity for an ending, Mercury in Pisces will sextile Uranus in your sign of image. Now, this new moon, besides it being entangled with the square with Jupiter, this new moon is important because it is a new opportunity for an ending. Again, because we're anticipating a new beginning. So, and the other reason that this new moon is important is because this new moon in 6 months' time will be the total lunar eclipse in Pisces. So something will be eclipsed out of your life in regards to your Pisces related house, and because then the solar eclipse that follows it will fill up that vacuum. Okay, but it's a very compassionate and alternative, um, uh, new ending to whatever was meant to end. Um, in your Pisces related house. Because at the end of the year, when these planets retrograde back, and again, we're not going back to the same old story. We're going back in a new world it's going to be a new you. Uh, Uranus is going to leave your sign. You're actually going to be much more stable. Um, um a lot of things will shift. So it'll be a new world. There's no reason for us to be scared of slipping back. But it's nostalgic. It's to tie up loose ends, because there will be reconciliations. There will be resolutions. All of that is going to be in the mix at the end of the year. And it will be cathartic, very, very cathartic and healing. I'm saying this also to all the signs, is my mother, God rest her soul, used to say, well, when I used to be like, I'd be angry and I hate my life, I hate this, I hate that, woohoo. And my mother would just look at me and go, and I'd be like, why are you laughing at my pain? And she said, because there will come a day in the future, well, where you'll say, oh my God, I miss those days. Those are the best days, even with this pain, especially because it's Pisces, because we do get this ethereal, this deep, intuitive, emotional understanding, and we're able to heal. Um, Whatever your Pisces related house is, be thankful to God Almighty that whatever pain you had, that you're able to go through it with this Neptune Saturn energy, the nodes, and all that, and because there is a washing away of the pain and the hurt, and we to know how to go into the future, we need to really understand the past, and it's paying homage to the old and the foundation in the past. It's not all about just throw out the old and go in with the new. So and lastly, yeah, you want to heal and heal others, because if you hang on to two things, if you hang on to the past and the pain, and you want the future, you're going to lose both, is all I have to say. And I was complaining about astrologers going into philosophy and psychology, so I won't do that to you. But that's how the month ends, and that's why I believe, maybe I'm wrong, or maybe other astrologers feel different. How I believe is why Neptune Pisces dominates really most of the year, and this month is very crucial to understanding all of 2025. All right, Taurus, I hope if you did not find this informative, at least entertaining, I will talk to you soon.